What is the secret to a long-lasting relationship, to a long marriage, to whatever you want to call it, that's going on between you and your partner? I have been married for almost 20 years now. My wedding anniversary is coming up on October 4th, and this is part 5 of my series on long-lasting relationships, because I figured I don't only want to look forward to the time that we have left as a couple, which I hope is going to be a long time, but I also want to look backward and see what I have learned in those past 20 years. And maybe you can benefit from my experience. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just somebody who's been married for a few times. This is my 3rd marriage. And 3 times is a charm. Absolutely. I subscribe to that notion. And I think there's some things we've done right, otherwise we would no longer be together, because it's super easy to get married, but it's also not that hard, ultimately, if you have patience and a lot of money and a good lawyer, to get divorced. But, we decided to do things right this time, because I think both my wife and I have learned from what we went through in the past that was not that great, and we decided to create a relationship that would work for the both of us, and that would sustain us for the rest of our lives, because we're in it for the long haul, for the long run. We are stuck to one another, we're glued to each other. Now, one of the things that we keep on telling each other, and telling my daughter, because I brought a daughter into our marriage, is that people do things for their reasons, not your reasons. And that means that in order to understand people's behaviors, you should stop assuming what you think motivates them, because unless you're some kind of psychic, we as human beings are not endowed with the capability to read one another's minds, right? But we do it all the time. We look at a book, we see the cover, and then we assume that we know what is inside without reading a single chapter, without asking the other person what motivated you to do this or to say that, what moved you. This also means that we have to accept each other's uniqueness. And that sounds like, oh, okay, that's a given. We're all unique. Yes, but how many times have partners in marriages or relationship that clearly don't work have tried to change each other and say, well, the way I see things is better because, or the way I want you to behave so I'll be happy is this? You have to understand that people do things for their reasons and not yours. And part of being in a relationship is continuing to understand and ask for each other's reasons, each other's motivations. And you should do that really in every relationship in your life. Because when I look at a lot of back and forth that's going on the social media apps like TikTok, when you read the comments, most of the comments are assumptions that people make based on what they see and hear, which are so far from the truth, because these assumptions will say everything about the person who's commenting and not about the person who they're commenting on, right? So understand that life comes through you, through all your senses. That's the way we perceive reality. And it gets filtered, it gets colored. We literally wear rose-colored glasses when we're in love. And when we are in not such a good mood, our glasses may be dampened and darkened. We perceive reality in a subjective way. And one of the secrets to staying together for a long time is to be curious about how the other person comes to their conclusions. Because there's a lot that we don't know about one another. We're like these icebergs where only the tip is coming out of the water, right? And we base our reactions, spontaneous reactions, a lot on past conditioning. Things that resonate with us from the past that make us respond in a certain way. And that's why it's so important to get to know each other. Find out what is moving people, things that come from the future they're looking forward to, from how they feel in the present, but also how they have experienced life in the past. Another thing that is keeping my wife and myself together is that we don't really need each other, but we really want each other. That may sound weird, Aren't you supposed to need each other? Oh, baby, you're the center of my universe. I need you. Without you, I wouldn't be anybody. Well, my wife and I agree that without the other person, we're still a person that can lead a life without the other one. A full life, that is. But being together makes it so much better. Because we came from different backgrounds. I came from a different country. I came from the Netherlands. And my wife has lived in the United States for all of her life. And I could, should my wife pass away, which, knock on wood, will take a long, long time before that happens. But I know that my life will go on without her. I will still have a life without her. And I know the same will happen for her, because it's fun to be together. It really makes life so much richer and most wonderful. But I know that we don't need each other to live a full life. At the same time, we are each other's anchors. That's always how I describe my wife. She anchors me. She's the one who keeps me grounded, both feet on the ground, when life seems chaotic, when I'm not feeling well, when people aren't nice to me, when I'm dealing with loss or uncertainty, lack of self-esteem. When I'm feeling at my most vulnerable, I know that there's one person I can always turn to who will always be there for me. There's a shoulder to lean on and a soft place to fall, to land. And I want to be that same person for her as well. That whatever life throws at her, she can come to me always. She's my anchor. And last but not least, my wife is my greatest critic. I mean this in the best sense of the word. And my greatest supporter. Because sometimes I've had highs in my career where I was really full of myself. I really thought I had made it and I'd done something extraordinary. And everybody around me said, Paul, you're such a great person. You're so wonderful. And thanks for doing that, etc., etc. They were elated. And you come back home and you're a partner, you're a husband. You take the trash out and you're just a regular person. And my wife is very good at making me a better person, because she can point out the things that I need to improve upon, my flaws. It's not always fun, because I have a lot of flaws and I have changed a lot since I had my stroke 6 years ago. That has changed my personality, that changed the way I behave also towards her, because I'm very spontaneous, and spontaneity is great, but sometimes you just blabber things out, things come out of your mouth that you should not have said. And so she has needed to become a lot more tolerant of my weaknesses. But she always strives to point things out so that I can improve them, and so that I won't embarrass myself in public either. Because I tend to do that. That's, as you see what I'm doing now, it's quite embarrassing, isn't it? But anyway, she is my greatest critic. Because she knows how much I am capable of and how much better I can be and how much better I can do. And she doesn't want me to slack off in life, because I have a tendency to just coast. To live in the moment, to be happy, not get anything done, because I am in the moment, and the moment is the only thing that counts. She holds me accountable, and rightly so, and pushes me to do things that I should have done and forgotten about, or hadn't even thought about. At the same time, she is the happiest for me. More happy than anybody could ever be when things go well, when I have these successes to celebrate. And she is so incredibly supportive. Her support has gotten me through the darkest days. So these are some of the things that keep my long-term relationship going. What are some of yours? I don't think I'm done yet, so there's another part to it. Take care. See you soon.